Hey everybody, welcome back to GWN. I'm Knock, your host. Thank you for joining us today. I wanted to take today's video to talk a little bit about mismatches, underdog matches, and whether or not the Builder Hall game is fair. On the forums, from time to time, we get a flood of messages. I mean, it seems like there's always one or two that get started up every day that is saying that the builder base isn't fair. I'm always matched against one or two levels above me, and I can never win. And yeah, I get it. I hate it when I go against a base that's further along than I am. But even though it seems like it's lopsided, it really isn't. And I'm going to play some replays in the background, starting out with Builder Hall 6 versus Builder Hall 7. While I'm talking about this, kind of give you something to watch besides just looking at my base. This isn't a podcast, right? The builder base is really, it's player versus player game. It's PvP. And unlike our day mode clash game, the trophies establish your player rankings along largely offensive lines, okay? Your ability to play the game is based on three things: your defensive capabilities, your offensive capabilities, and your attacking skills. Now, although it's important to be able to defend, and that's, one of the important parts of winning a match, it's really your attacking skills that are going to determine how you rank in the game. Because the more games that you win, the more matches you win, the higher your trophy level will be. Naturally, if you're a stronger attacker, you're going to accumulate more wins and be higher in the trophy ranking system. But the system is self-regulating. And what I mean by that is that the further along you go in the trophy rankings, the harder and harder it will be to achieve a win. And again, we're talking about three possibilities: your defensive capabilities, your offensive capabilities, your attacking skills. Your attacking skills will take you so far, but eventually you're going to go against a player who has stronger offensive or defensive capabilities. And when that happens, you're going to lose. And that's perfectly normal. It's perfectly acceptable. There are sweet spots to all of the builder halls, each one of the levels within the trophy ranking system, that is predominantly occupied by that builder hall level, and it's just the right place for it to be. Okay. For example, builder hall 4. Typically, you're going to find builder hall 4s starting off at around 1,000 to 1,100 trophies, give or take, depending upon how fast they rush, things like that. They'll cruise very quickly up to 13, 14, 1,500 trophies. I mean, in no time at all, they'll be there. But once they get there, the matches start to get a little bit tougher. You start to see more and more Builder Hall 5s. And in no time at all, you'll actually be seeing Builder Hall 5s that are way outside of your league. And at that point, what you need to do is to upgrade to Builder Hall 5. That spot usually ends up being about 1,800 trophies, give or take. Builder Hall 5 has the exact same thing. It comes in at around 1,800 trophies, maybe a little bit lower, and then you can cruise up to over 2,000, maybe get to 2,100, 2,200, but then you start, again, you're playing mostly Builder Hall 6, and by the time you make it to 2,500, you're at the top of the game. You're not going to get any further as a Builder Hall 5, not much further at least. Why? Because your defensive and offensive capabilities are no longer strong enough to be able to get you past the Builder Hall 6 players that you're going up against. And again, very natural. So you're going to get knocked back a little bit, then you go back up a little bit, then get knocked back a little bit. Perfectly acceptable, perfectly normal, exactly how a self-regulating ranking system should work. So you upgrade to Builder Hall 6. That's going to start off again around 2,500 trophies, just like you would expect because Builder Hall 5 ended there. And it's going to go up into the 3,000s. Right now, with the Battlefest event that's going on, we're looking at lower 3,000s, maybe 3,000 to 3,100. I've been playing on mine quite a bit, and I'm actually down to 2,800 and 2,900 levels just because of the level of competition. Once this ends, it'll go back up again, and I'll cruise back up to 3,200 where I was before the event began. And I would expect that Builder Hall 6 will top out at about 3,500 trophies. And that'll be in near max Builder Hall 6. Builder Hall 7 picks up in the low 3,000s to 3,500 and then cruises its way all the way up to 6,000 or more from there. So taking a look at Builder Hall 7, what do we see? Well, 3,500 to 4,500 trophies tends to be your entry-level Builder Hall 7s. You're going to have a couple of stronger Builder Hall 6s in there, but really 34, 3,500, that's where it's going to start for Builder Hall 7. So it stands to reason that you're going to see more entry-level players for Builder Hall 7 in that range. After that, going up to the 4,000 to 4,500 level, you're going to see the typical Builder Hall 7 player. That's where the average player is going to be, who has mostly level 6 stuff, maybe a mix of level 4, 5, and 6, something around that line, depending on how much you rush. 4,500 is a good sweet spot, I think, for Builder Hall 7. Going up towards 5,000, between 4,500 and 5,000, you're going to get the stronger players that have a few level 14 troops and a few level 7 defenses. That's where I'm at. So as you take a look at my game, you can see I have exactly that, some level 7 defenses and some level 14 troops. I don't think I'll be able to go much further than 5,000, maybe to 51, 5,200, kind of depending upon how things shake out after the battle. Festa's over with. But 5,000 tends to be for your much stronger players. You're going to have more exceptional attackers up there. You're going to have people that are gemming their game. And of course, once you get above 5,500, going towards the 6,000 marker, well, that's where the gemmers reside right now, the people that have max bases. And that's not something that we can typically compete with as free-to-play or rushers or even light gemmers like myself, because, these guys just have way, way too much strength behind them. Let's get into these Clash Maniac games. There we go. So, that's the way the trophy rankings break out. Now, you can have a system of trophies that etches that in stone and says, okay, if you are a Builder Hall 4, you cannot go any higher than 1,800. If you are a Builder Hall 5, you cannot go any higher than 2,500. If you are a Builder Hall 6, you cannot go any higher than 3,500. Yeah, you could do that, but that kind of places arbitrary limits on a player's abilities. And you don't really want a glut of players up at, say, 3,500 or 2,500 or whatever trophies. You want people to be able to kind of move up and down, and you want them to be kind of strong when they get to that max point so they can move on to the next level with their Builder Hall. And the other side of that is if you have a minimum threshold, all of a sudden you're bringing a player who's simply not strong enough into a league where he can't win. Think about some of these rushed Builder Hall 6 or 7 bases. Especially the Builder Hall 7 ones. I've got an example of one I'll be showing to you here in a minute from Builder Hall 5, where this guy was so rushed that, he wouldn't be able to compete at 3,500 or 4,000 trophies. He just wouldn't be able to. And that's why he was down around 1,800 trophies. So the brackets are in flux. And it fits the game. It fits the modal design of the game, the meta that we see. It really is a much better way of doing it. It's a self-regulating system, and it's a much better way of doing it. Now, when you're the underdog, that usually means that you're at the top of your Builder Hall levels trophy range, and you probably should consider upgrading. So, BH4, you're at around 1,800. BH5, you're at probably 23 to 2,500. BH6, you're at 32 to 3,500, and so on. You're at the top of your game. And as such, you can take on these other players who are there because they're at the bottom of their game for that particular Builder Hall level, even if it's a level above yours. And as you can see from these videos that I've been playing, these are all Builder Hall 6 games playing against a Builder Hall 7. Every one of them resulted in a win, and it was a good solid win most of the time. Sometimes the win won't be great. Maybe it'll be a 1-star win of, say, 60 or 70% or, something like that. But again, when the other player isn't attacking very well, it doesn't matter. That's enough to win. When a new Builder Hall level's released, like we saw with Builder Hall 7, things are going to go absolutely haywire because you've got people rushing to the new level. You've got people upgrading like mad. So don't judge the first couple of weeks when you're getting these mismatches. Don't judge that as kind of the sign of how it is and how it's going to be. You got to give it a little bit of time to settle down. And with this game still being new and working its way through all that, we're going to see a lot of that. Okay? So it's to be expected. It's normal. It'll work itself out. Now we talk about the three pillars: defense, attack, and offense. But there's another thing that you need to look at, and that's base design. Now, obviously, if somebody has low-level structures, that's going to put them kind of at the lower level for their particular attack. But take a look at this Builder Hall 7 base. Now, he's got a fully deployed Builder Hall 7 base right down to the giant cannon, so he's got the whole 9 yards. But look at how he's got it deployed. Literally 50% of his base is outside the range of any defenses. And when I looked at this base, I kind of scratched my head because I was trying to figure out, what is he doing? Why would he do this? And I think what he did was he concentrated all of his defenses around his Builder Hall in an attempt to stop a 2-star while putting all of his junk buildings on the outside to slow everybody down, thinking that people would split up their troops. And, people will. I did. But it doesn't really work well if you want to get a win, because this is going to give your opponent a high percentage of destruction. And that's exactly what happened here. I switched over to one camp of barbarians, and then the other 3 camps I had beta minions. And I just dropped one barbarian on each and every one of these defensive or junk buildings and took them down. The only time I got fired on was by that archer tower at the very bottom. And that wasn't a very big deal because I just ended up dropping all my beta minions there to launch my attack right up from the bottom on the base. And that's how we achieved a high percentage of destruction on this base. Speed this up now. Now you can see we're chewing through it pretty fast. I've actually still got a couple of barbarians left. This is one of my favorite attacks because it's a clutch win. We send in the battle machine with 66% 1-star, and he's going to take out a few buildings and then go after the Builder Hall. And what's cool about this is when he finally gets to the Builder Hall, he's almost dead. Okay, but I'm able to charge him one last time right there. We get a couple of good solid licks in. He goes down, and boom, the Raged Barbarian finishes off the Builder Hall with one hit. And we got the 79% 2-star. And this is not exclusive to Builder Hall 6, although I've been showing a lot of Builder Hall 6 attacks. I've got some Builder Hall 5 ones as well. And here's a 3-star against a Builder Hall 6. This player's problem was, again, the base design. He's still relatively weak, but he had all of his junk buildings off to the right. His air bombs are outside of the real defensive perimeter, so I'm able to come from the right and take out most everything he's got with the beta minions before the air bombs even become a factor. And what's really interesting about this is I've only got level 8 beta minions on this game. So, at the time, it's all I had. So, we're able to work our way through with just 24 level 8 beta minions and nothing else. By the time we get done with the beta minions and I send in the battle machine, we've got, 60% plus of the base taken down. Battle machine works his way through. We'll go ahead and speed this up. And even the Builder Hall, the beta minions are able to take that down. There's not a whole lot left to threaten the battle machine. And even though he's level 1, he can survive a decent number of hits from this roaster, which is also, I think, a level 1. By the time he gets in the middle and takes the last 4 buildings out, we end up with 100% 3-star. And this is, again, a brand new Builder Hall 5 versus a Builder Hall 6 that was fully deployed. To give you an idea, that Builder Hall 5, it's my son's game, we just took it to Builder Hall 5 the day before. So it was a 1-day-old Builder Hall 5 game. That's all the more old it was. The next attack that I've got here, again on the Builder Hall 5 level. See if I can find it. I know it's in here. This shows, we'll do the Builder Hall 6 first. Again, it shows how you want to work your way through and do the best attack that you can, sometimes taking your time to do a little sniping. So at this point, I had upgraded my beta minions in this particular attack. We'd gotten up to 10. We were already working on 9 at the time of the last one. And there's a bunch of structures that are outside the realm of any decent defenses. So I go and hit them with a couple of camps of beta minions, and I hold back the rest. And as you can see, we're going to get a pretty good chunk of the base down. I think it was around maybe 25 or 30% of the base we get down, just using our beta minions targeting the outlying structures, the outlying buildings. So by the time this is done, and we'll go ahead and speed it up, the next step is to bring in the rest of the horde in a more general and complete attack. Also to bring in the battle machine. And they work their way through a pretty good chunk of the base. If I had held back on the battle machine just a little bit longer, and you'll see this in just a second, if I'd held back just a little bit longer, I think I could have made it a 2-star. But I decided to take the battle machine in first, and I think that was a mistake in this case. I think I should have waited and let the beta minions wreak some havoc first, because the battle machine didn't really do a whole lot. And you can see we get the builder hall down to, what, about a 4th? So not too bad. Now the last one I've got for you, and I think this just shows it really well. This is why I say that there are 3 pillars: offense, defense, and attacking skills. This player got a 26% 1-star against a builder hall 5. He is a builder hall 7 player. And when you take a look at his profile, look at his troops. His troops aren't even builder hall level 4 max. Everything he's got, none of it is strong enough to be at builder hall 7, but he is. He is a hyper rushed player, and his base shows it. Level 2 archer towers, level 3 archer tower, level 5 archer tower, level 2 hidden Tesla, level 3 air bombs, level 1 multi-mortar, level 1 roaster, level 4 double cannon, level 3 double cannon, level 2 crusher, level 2 crusher. A lot of players would still look at this and say, oh no, he's a builder hall 7, I'm only a brand new builder hall 5, I couldn't possibly beat this guy. If he had a stronger offense, if his other 2 pillars were stronger, he would have done better. But his troops are weak and his defenses are weak. And as a result, we're able to pull out a 50% 1-star and win. He's also got a lot of buildings on the outside, which we snipe. I don't know. I think this is, again, an experience thing. A lot of players don't really understand that having those buildings out there where they can be easily sniped is a no-no. Speed this up. This is why I said over and over, don't think you can't beat a player that's a higher builder hall level. You can, you will, and it really depends on what they've got going with their base design, their defensive capabilities, their offensive capabilities, and their attacking skills. If you've got really strong attacking skills and your base is not so hot, as long as you don't get 3-star, you can often work your way through to a 2-star win over your opponent. But when your defenses are weak and your offenses are weak and so forth, it's just not going to happen. Looking at his attack now. He's coming in with a Bomber Giant Barb here, which is basically, I don't know, what do we call it? A Bob Giant or Barbarian with Giant. I don't remember what name we came up with for it. It's not going to last very long. Even against this relatively new and weak Builder Hall 5 game. Level 4 battle machine, so obviously he's focusing on getting his battle machine up. But he's got to get his troops up because they just don't have the wherewithal to withstand any of these defenses. Very short attack. About to end here in just a few seconds. So his attacking skills, not so hot. His defense, not so hot. His offense, not so hot. My attacking skills, pretty good. My offense, decent. My defense, new, but doing okay. And in that particular game, obviously my beta minions had not yet been upgraded, so it was a little bit tougher for me to get as much as we did, but we did get a pretty good amount. So to kind of close it out, try not to think of matches as being unfair so much as being an overall equivalency that's generally balanced. Okay, there's no matchmaking system that's perfect. There's going to be free falls. I mean, it's PvP, and I'll tell you, there are times I get in here and I'm playing, and like I said, I'm a pretty good attacker. I've got decent troops. I've got decent defenses, and I'll just drop trophies like crazy. The other day I played for a little over an hour, and I dropped 300 trophies. I just could not win for the life of me. It happens. All right. The next day, you'll get a bunch of them back, and you'll soar up 200 trophies. It's not that big of a deal. Generally speaking, your matches are going to be balanced. It's going to put you against a player who's either roughly your same level or maybe even a little bit better than you. And that's okay because it keeps it challenging. Okay. And you're going to get almost always at least a 50-50 ratio in your wins and losses. Sometimes better. I usually average about maybe 3 wins out of 5 matches, sometimes 3 out of 4. It just kind of depends on where you are in the game. If you understand that, if you think that way, I think that you'll find the game much more enjoyable and be able to better work through it. For those of you that are new to this channel, please hit subscribe. If you like the video, please hit like. Help me build the channel. I appreciate your help. Thank you for sticking around at the very end of this video. I really do hope that it helped explain the trophy ranking system and a little bit about how really the matches are fair, even though they seem like you may be an underdog. You can do a lot with that. On that note, you guys take care, keep on clashing, and just have a ball with this game. Bye-bye.